Rare cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel that you need for your deck. In today's video, we're going over 5 rare cards that you absolutely need to craft that can help you win more duels. These aren't rare cards in the sense that they're hard to find or difficult to come by, but the actual rarity level. They're not ultras or supers, just rare. So if you've been opening packs, you should have all of the crafting points you need and then some to get full play sets of everything I'm about to list off. If your deck is ready for a power-up, let's check out these great rare cards. Before looking at our opening hand, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more Master Duel content. And if you like today's video, be like a 10. Hit that thumbs up. Getting right into it, I'm sure a lot of newer players are realizing just how broken effect negations are in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that negate everything your opponents try to do and stop them from playing the game are what get wins. So the first card we're looking at is an absolutely broken Omni negation in the form of the Broken Line Trap card. This card is so insane, I can't believe it's a rare in Master Duel. It's a counter trap that negates a spell, trap, or monster effect that activates in the same column as itself. And since it's a counter trap, it's got the fastest spell speed, meaning the only thing that can respond to it is another counter trap chained by your opponent. If you don't know what spell speeds or chains are and would like a video explaining how those work more, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make a video talking about that stuff because it can be a little confusing for new or returning players. But Broken Line is an absolutely must-have trap card. It's an excellent budget replacement for the powerhouses like Solemn Strike or Infinite Impermanence, which are ultras and usually a little harder to come by. Most players don't pay much attention to where they play their cards. They just throw them down in the middle column and assume they can play. So setting Broken Line in the middle column or along one of the extra Monster Zone columns is an almost guaranteed way to negate a crucial spell or link monster effect. Oh yeah, it also destroys the card it negates. If your deck needs more negations, craft yourself some Broken Line. Now, I'm sure most players are familiar with Exodia, the Forbidden One, the original alternate win condition in Yu-Gi-Oh! Draw all 5 pieces, you win the game. So what does Exodia do after winning a duel like that? Well, the Forbidden One kicks back and sips from his Forbidden Chalice, the next card on this list you need to craft. The Chalice is a weaker version of the very powerful Forbidden Droplet, which is an ultra rare in Master Duel, but that doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, Chalice may be better than the Drip in some situations, and best of all, it's a rare, so it's super easy to craft. Chalice is a quick play spell that negates a face-up monster's effect on the field, while giving them 400 extra attack points. If your opponent plays a monster whose effect you cannot allow to resolve, Chalice is a great option to stop that play in its tracks. But Star, I hear you say, why would I do that and give my opponent's monster more attack points? Honestly, the boost is so negligible. If that effect gets negated, chances are pretty high that that monster's not even staying on the board. Either your opponent will link it away for an effect that can be used, or it'll be a weaker monster to begin with, and 400 is not helping it either way. Effect negation is king. Don't let a small attack boost turn you away from this very powerful card. Next up on our list, we have a card that helps even the playing field when you're down, and depending on what other cards you use with it, it can really punish your opponent. Dogmatic Punishment is an amazing trap card, and though it's not a counter trap like Broken Line, it's still very powerful and can level the playing field when your opponent gets some momentum. The way Punishment works is by sending a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, you can destroy another monster on the field that has the same or fewer attack points as that extra deck monster. If you have high attack monsters in your extra deck, you can take care of a problem boss monster your opponent has with ease, but a better use of this card is combining it with extra deck cards that have additional graveyard effects. Cards like Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, or At Ignister Wind Pegasus, or Elder Entity Entis are all excellent options to send to the graveyard because they not only have respectable attack, they have an additional effect that activates. Entis, for example, destroys a card on the field when sent to the graveyard, so combining Punishment with Entis essentially gives you 2 destructions off of 1 card. And again, Dogmatic Punishment is a rare, so it's very easy to craft. Entis, though, is an ultra, so you might have to decide how many of her you can roll with. Rolling into the next card, though, this one made waves on the metagame back in the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and it's still just as good today as it was back then. Torrential Tribute is an insane trap card that completely wipes the board of all monsters when one gets summoned. If you have nothing on your board and are painfully watching your opponent combo off, just flip this on them when they summon something you don't like and watch it all get flushed down the drain. Of course, it also wipes your monsters off the board too, so it's a bit of a circumstantial card, but if you're sitting on few defenses and you need that board wipe on your opponent's turn, Torrential Tribute is a must-have. It also works great in trap-based strategies like Amazements and Eldritch. Although nobody needs to give Eldritch players any more tips, please, for the love of the god cards, play a different deck. But just like all the other cards on this list, Torrential Tribute is a rare and it's super easy to craft. If you need some extra interruption on your opponent's turn, or if your deck runs few monsters, definitely consider running the Tribute. Finally, the last card we're going to look at today is another one from way back in the day, but is still relevant in the current metagame. Book of Moon is a classic Yu-Gi-Oh card that has a very basic effect of flipping a face-up monster into face-down defense position. This has become a pretty standard effect across a number of cards, and it's why any other card that has this effect is just affectionately called a Book of Moon. It's just that much of a classic card. It might not seem like a very powerful effect either, just a simple flip face down, but when you consider that monsters cannot activate their effects while face down, cannot be used as link material or synchro material or XYZ material while face down, and any active effect they had while face up will now be negated, you can maybe start to see how this card ends up being so good. Are Shen Shen and Darklaw trying to banish all of your cards? Book of Moon them and swing over those crappy defense stats. Problem solved. Of course, this card will not work on Link monsters since they lack a defense stat and therefore cannot be flipped face down, but everything else is free game, and this is a very strong card that will cause the competition to flip. Alright, I'm gonna stop with these puns. I'll leave that to the Kali effect. Thank you all so much for stopping by and checking out today's video. I hope these cards help power your deck up, and if you want to see any other Master Duel tips and tricks, let me know in the comments section below and we'll get those out to you ASAP. Once again, consider subscribing if you're new, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!